Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. It's fight week. Jaron, Ennis, Xander, Zayas, and Vergil Ortiz out here. Don't want nobody to forget about him, man. King of the mountain. Who's going to be the king of the 154-pound division? And after this weekend between Jaron, Ennis, and Xander, Zayas, who's going to be sitting there as a unified champion? Let me tell you, the entire fight comes down to one question. This may be the simplest high-level boxing debate in years. Technique versus athleticism. That's all it is. Simple, man. Not that either fighter lacks one or the other. Both are highly skilled. Both are elite athletes. But when fans describe them, they usually focus on different strengths. Many supporters view Zayas as the more structured and technically disciplined fighter. Many supporters view Ennis as the more naturally gifted athlete. That's why they compare him to Roy Jones Jr. And that creates one of boxing's oldest debates. What does Xander Zayas bring to the ring? He's built his reputation around efficiency. He doesn't waste movement. He doesn't rush. Doesn't chase unnecessary knockouts. He often appears calm and composed, but he can be hit. And supporters point to his ring IQ, timing, positioning, patience, shot selection. Many compare his style to a chess player. So the objective isn't to win every exchange when Zayas is in the ring, and he shows that. His whole objective is just to win the fight, and that makes it very interesting when he gets in the ring with Jaron Ennis this weekend. Now, as far as Jaron Ennis, everybody feels he's the next big thing in boxing. One of boxing's most physically gifted fighters. Everybody who supports him, they're going to frequently point to his speed, reflexes, power, explosiveness, adaptability. And what makes Ennis unique is that he can switch styles. You got to give him credit for that. He can box, he can pressure, he can counter, he can fight from multiple looks. When fans say Ennis is special, they're usually talking about physical tools. And these are facts. He passes the eye test. He's passed a couple tests, but this is the real test. He gets through Zayas. For me, I don't want to hear nobody saying anything else about Jaron Ennis. Because Zayas is the real deal at 23. And he said, I'm going to show people why I'm unified at 23. But who usually wins? Technique or athleticism? Well, technique, you got to be talking about Zayas. Athleticism, again, you got to talk about Ennis. But historically, the answer is neither. The fighter who combines both usually wins. Now, who combines the athleticism and technique? Is it Zayas or is it Jaron Ennis? Again, huge debate over who possesses both of those qualities. I just want to foot stomp this. Athleticism without discipline can be neutralized. Technique without physical capability can be overwhelmed. Great fighters find balance, and that's what Jaron and Zayas both have been able to do. That's why this matchup has generated so much attention. Both fighters possess strengths capable of exposing the other's weaknesses. Now, as far as training camps and the differences, look, while specific day-to-day camp details they're not always public. Both fighters are known for highly professional approaches. Zayas generally associate him with structure, consistency, technical drilling, strategic preparation. You can see it in the videos and highlights he has floating around. Ennis associate him with the intense sparring, athletic conditioning, explosive movement work, adaptability training, and you see that in the videos and images floating around out there on the internet. But understand this, both camps understand the stakes. Neither fight can afford a mistake, you know what I'm saying? These fighters cannot afford a misstep. They got to get it right. From the diet, nutrition, that shit's just as important as the training. Elite fighters generally focus on lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, hydration, recovery, nutrition. You see Jaron Ennis looks great, but Xander Zayas went into fat boy camp. He had to get them goddamn arroz con habichuela off of his ass, all them Puerto Rican goddamn foods. You know what I'm saying? Every day, man, he can't be tienes hambre. We all have hunger, motherfucker. But he had to get his ass in that goddamn camp and sweat that grease off. That's one thing I think that could make a difference in the fight. But the bottom line is, he's a consummate professional. He looks great now, and the fight week nutrition becomes especially important because energy management can influence performance dramatically, and it make you wonder just how much work does Zayas had to put in to get that goddamn Puerto Rican comida off his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell you this, neither fighter can afford to arrive depleted. You can't be trying to lose 12 pounds the day before the fight. So, just make a mental note of that shit. One person had to go into a fat camp, the other one didn't. And I put it this way, it wasn't Jaron Ennis. Now, the Virgil Ortiz conversation. Hey, yo, Virgil Ortiz, hold your horse and stop taking to the stupid. You and De La Hoya and Rick Meridian and everyone else. Get out of here. Ain't nothing wrong with no damn Ortiz and De La Hoya and Golden Boy. I really feel like they just out here, man, playing people. Out here putting duck sauce on the goddamn carne asada. All of a sudden, Virgil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya has made amends, and now he's going to be fighting back soon, and then plan a big fight with him and the winner of Zayas and Boots. To that I say, in the most respectful way, hey, yo, hold your horses and stop taking to the stupid. Get out of here. Yeah, it does make an interesting storyline, the renewed discussion surrounding Ortiz, recent comments about potential future plans, reigniting debate amongst boxing fans. But come on now. I know some supporters are excited, but we need to be more skeptical than excited. And I'm not saying being skeptical about Ortiz's talent. He's got the talent. We know he's got the ability. I'm talking about the timing, man. Come on. Many supporters wanted to see certain major fights happen sooner rather than later. And all of a sudden, he just pop up here right before the damn Zayas and Boots fight. And all of a sudden, Virgil Ortiz and De La Hoya and Golden Boy are all good. We want them back in the ring here in the next couple of months. We're working together. Where'd that come from? See, that's why we as fans are frustrated. All this shit talking about making fights with Boots and Ortiz and Zayas, Ortiz and this person, all that, and nothing happened. So now you want to come up with these announcements and think people aren't going to get triggered? All right, so we're like, okay, why now? Why not sooner? Why wasn't this fight made before? Why wasn't he fighting sooner this year? Those frustrations aren't unique to Ortiz, though. I got to be real. They're common throughout boxing, but Ortiz, they got him underneath the microscope right now. So anyway, more to come on all that bullshit, but look, man, I'm scratching my head right now. I got to wonder about Ortiz out there like, don't forget about me, guys. Don't forget about me. Viva Mexico, Cameroon. Man, get out of here. You and that dancing horse. Ride out, soldier. The hell out of here. I don't trust nothing coming from them people over there. But I'll tell you what. People's favorite Ennis to beat Zayas and to beat Ortiz. And despite Zayas' technical excellence, many fans still lean towards Ennis. But I just think people need to put more respect on Zayas' name. Zayas, a Puerto Rican, can fight. I don't care what nobody say, man. He ain't Miguel Cotto, he ain't Felix Trinidad, but he may just show us that he does have a little bit of that in him, and he getting there if he beats Ennis this weekend. But just being real with y'all, look, many fans lean towards Ennis. And I think the reasoning is simple. Elite athleticism is difficult to prepare for. Speed changes fights. Power changes fights. Reflexes changes fights. And Ennis possesses all three. Speed, power, reflexes. So supporters believe those advantages eventually are going to create openings, and he's going to land up bing-bings on Xander and Xander Zayas and put him down. But the Xander Zayas believers, they're out there like, nah, man, Viva Puerto Rico, like Don King and shit, Tito Trinidad and Bernard Hopkins. Zayas Puerto Ricans. Zayas supporters argue something equally important. I should have made that Don King and Bernard Hopkins joke. And y'all remember Don King was holding the flag, Viva Puerto Rico. Even though he just talked the speed in him, man. Puerto Rico and that shit. Don King, get your ass up out of boxing, man. But the Zayas supporters are going to argue tooth and nail, man, that his technique travels, discipline travels, composure travels. And when pressure increases, technical fighters often become more dangerous because they're very technical, and that is a problem. So the belief amongst his supporters that Zayas can force Ennis into a fight that relies more on decision-making than athletic gifts, and that gives Zayas the advantage, and he may put the bing-bings on Ennis and get the big victory. So at the end of the day, the mountain in front of these fighters isn't just a championship. It's control of boxing's future. Ennis wants to prove he's the most gifted fighter of his generation. Zayas wants to prove that intelligence and technique can conquer raw athletic ability. And somewhere in the distance, Virgil Ortiz remains part of the conversation, waiting to see who survives the climb. Fight week is finally here. More videos to come. Now we'll find out whether the future belongs to technique or athleticism at the 154-pound divisions. Or if the fighter capable of blending both will win. And I really think it's going to be the one who can blend both. It's just my opinion. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.